Okej, klockan är 1 minut över, 2 minuter över halv, så att vi kör igång. Välkomna till dagens webinar och Trimble Stratus. Med lite fokus då på anläggningsprojekt idag. Igår körde vi ett webinar som var mer riktat mot täktverksamhet. Om ni inte var med på det så finns det möjlighet att få en inspelning från det webbinariet. Det är bara att ni skickar en fråga till oss om det, så får ni en film. Idag ska vi titta på ett vägprojekt. Vi har en kille som heter Samuel som kommer att visa oss hur man mäter framdriften, volymberäkningar, hur man kan mäta mot design eller modell då. Och också visa den nya appen, hur den fungerar. Och lite andra nyheter som kommer då i plattformen. Jag heter Kristoffer, jobbar som Key Account på SITECH. SITECH är ju en Trimble-återförsäljare på construction-sidan. Vi drar ingen lång presentation om SITECH idag, utan det kommer en länk efter webbinariet med information om det och kontaktuppgifter. Har ni några frågor som dyker upp under webbinariet här så kan ni skriva in dem i frågor och svar-knappen som är längst ner. Det är Q&A-knappen. Så betar vi av frågorna efter presentationen. Ja, Samuel, are you ready to go?
Yes, tack så mycket Kristoffer. Jag heter Samuel och jag är Sales eller Solutions Engineer på Propeller. And that's pretty much all Swedish I know and can talk right here. So I'll switch in English and I'll go through this deck and my content in English. Like Kristoffer mentioned, feel free to ask questions in Swedish and hopefully Kristoffer is able to translate them for me or us to answer. And today we'll be going through Trimble Stratus powered by Propeller and what we can offer in terms of a drone surveying, helping civil construction, road projects, specifically in mind, and streamlining data capture, data usage, and processing the full workflow. And to start off with the general challenge that we as a Propeller and Trimble Stratus we aim to tackle is that a lot of information is siloed on individual computers. People, different teams even have difficulties communicating with each other, having relevant information at hand. And collecting data is slow, can be expensive, and a difficult task at times. There are many bottlenecks that are unintentionally there. And with Trimble Stratus, collecting drone-based photos and photogrammetric data has never been easier and faster. With one single platform allowing variety of teams and people, even outside your organization, being able to come and view the data and interact with it, having relevant recent information at everyone's fingertips at all times, wherever they might be. And if you have been in the drone surveying sphere recently, you have definitely heard the difference between PPK and RTK, and I'm here to clarify a couple of things that we usually answer. PPK stands for post-processed kinematics, and this is the workflow that we promote and suggest when using Trimble Stratus. And the benefit for PPK against RTK, real-time kinematics, is that you don't need any real-time connection to correction services or high accuracy connection to satellite constellations. And reason why we promote PPK is that this real-time connection can drop seemingly for unknown reasons. And if this happens, your RTK corrected data is basically rendered useless and you would need to refly your whole mission. When using PPK, we are able to correct these to the similar accuracy during the processing, so we are not relying that the connection remains during the full flight. In addition, when using PPK, we you should use our own manufactured product called Aero. And this product has twofold purpose while surveying with your drone. First, it will provide a hyperlocal base station to correct the drone flying path during the processing, giving us very good starting point to generate this 3D model. The second part of the purpose of AeroPoint is that we will have always at least one ground control point on the ground when we start processing. And we always recommend anyone who flies drones should recommend to using at least 1 to 3 ground control points to verify that your resulting model is accurate and globally correctly placed. So this will fasten your workflow on the ground even more than the regular drone survey. Benefit of the AeroPoint is that you don't need to survey it with surveying equipment. It is a smart ground control device which has a GPS antenna and processor in the crosshair of the unit. So it will collect information on its own, and all you need to do is upload the data through a Wi-Fi to our platform, and we handle the rest of the processing. A bonus point of using our PPK solution is that our processing is highly automated for this method, meaning the turnaround times for correcting and processing 3D models is even faster, and you get to have these models quicker at your hand, so you can get the full value instead of doing manual processes like geotagging or georeferencing that you would do on a desktop-based solutions. And drone surveying has always been fast and has huge step from traditional surveying. And when flying with RTK connection or drones that don't have any GNSS capabilities, you rely heavily on ground control points to provide the accuracy for your resulting model. And especially the importance of having the ground control is on the edges of your site where you are flying, since that's areas where the errors start to accumulate more and more. And this you would need to go around your site and verify your ground control points are there, or you would need to survey them every time you go to a new site or existing site. When using our PPK solution, you only need one arrow point up to 40 hectares or roughly 500-meter radius distances. And as arrow point is already in the center, we have one ground control there, plus the corrections to the drone flying path that we calculate afterwards. And in combination of this, we can verify the 3 centimeter accuracy of every single point we see on the 3D models that I'm about to show in the platform itself. You can use other ground control points in combination with the arrow points, and that is highly recommended when flying larger or longer sites such as road projects. And key thing here to note that this PPK workflow is suitable for most common drones that are being used for surveying, such as Mavic 3 Enterprise, Phantom 4 RTK, and M300. If you have questions on regarding these drones, what you can use for the PPK processing, we are more than happy to help. Recapping the PPK workflow. When you go to a site, you place down your arrow point within the surveyable area. You press a button and our device will automatically start collecting satellite data from the available constellations in your area. You start flying your drone, basically press one button and autonomously flies in a predetermined route, taking photos every so often. Once you are done with your mission, you collect your drone, press the button on the arrow point, connect it to a Wi-Fi, and your data is already uploaded to our cloud platform. Data, photos from the drone, and the full mission files from the drone you upload separately to our platform, and that's all you need to do in terms of processing. We take care of the rest. We correct it, we process it, and we make sure the accuracy is there on the level you want to have. This way, like I mentioned earlier, you save a lot of time processing, troubleshooting, and tweaking your model, so you have more energy and time to actually get the analysis and use of the resulting models to do your actual job instead of processing this data over and over again. Some industry-specific challenges we have heard from our existing customers, and we keep hearing them more and more. There is a lot of guesswork in combination of information being siloed. It relies heavily on the site personnel's expertise and prior knowledge of the different work stages, and you need to know who to ask for specific information to find it. And a lot of times there are disputes regarding billing information, moved earthworks, and so on. And that can be a very tedious process and hugely affect the project cost and the time frame that you are not necessarily hitting your deadlines. And what we can here do is that we allow basically anyone who is part of the project to see the 3D model and interact with it given their level of access. Everyone can see it, and it's very difficult to dispute with the data you can see, showing clear dates and clear progression, really bringing everyone seeing the same map, same information, managing the same relevant data at everyone's devices at the office and at the site. Some challenges, in other words, is tracking progress, seeing how fast you are progressing, and also verifying that if you are hitting your designs, targets, and so on. Understanding how much material you have stored on site, if you have enough to do your earthworks, your cut and fill. This is the information that you get from the 3D models. We can see how much work has been done survey over survey and how much is still need to be done in order for us to hit the design. All these factors help meeting the deadlines and budgets. Team communication is always a big thing, and less email, phone calls, group chats, so on and so on. And as Kristoffer introduced in the beginning, these are the things we will be checking volumes, tracking progress, the monitoring quality and safety aspects as well, and how you can enhance communication, collaboration to have everyone on the same page of the project at any time. And now I will be going to the platform itself. And here we have already a road project available for us. And directly, we are greeted with a full 3D model that we can start interacting with, zooming in and seeing clear details of what the situation of our site is at this current stage. And when I would usually get a new drone survey, I would start it by inspecting the timeline. This allows you quickly see the situation, what is currently, and also go to previous data sets with a drag of a button, so we can clearly see the visual change that has happened over time, helping us to focus to the correct areas where work's been done, so we don't need to go through the full site section by section. We can only focus on the areas that are actually being worked on. And as you saw on here, these different sites, we are able to combine multiple flights into single data sets. This is what we call merging or creating composite survey. So when we are working on large road projects, for example, we don't have to fly the area in one go. We can fly small sections, making our task at the site faster and finding the times when we can actually fly. But still, we can see them as a full 3D model in one view over time. And first thing that I would be focusing on right now is to inspect what has happened on the site in terms of moving dirt on the site. And for this, we have a set built built-in set of templates designed for civil and road construction. So for example, I can do an area around this part of the site, and with a couple of clicks, I have done a polygon that will give me immediately a change from one survey to another. I can specify which survey I want to compare to. For example, the first initial ground level when work was barely started. And immediately we are greeted with a cut and fill volumes, how much this ground level has changed over time in this specific area. With colors, we can see where cut and fill has happened, plus we can do quick spot checks that you would normally do on site with your rover. We can see the fill volume, the elevation distance on this location. With the volume, it already gives a very good idea what is going on, but we can quickly add a tonnage calculator to figure out how much material in tonnages we have moved, if that is what you would like to report. Similarly, we can do comparisons into the future, knowing how much we still need to work on until we hit a specific design. And you can upload a variety of designs into the platform with just dragging and dropping into the uploader. For example, we can have our 3D design uploaded here. We can verify it is actually in the correct place. Work is being done on the correct location. Already gives us very good indication what is being worked on. I can convert this directly into a measurement with a earthwork progress type. And this allows me to see immediately if how much volume or earth we still need to move in order to hit this design. I'll select this on the list, and it will give me similar cut and fill menu, volume displacement, how much we still need to do in order to hit this design. We can see we still need to fill 2,300 cubic meters. In the same measurement, I can compare to any previous survey, for example, the original ground level 2, and I can now start estimating how much time it took us to move this much dirt if we are fully working on this area. We can see in a few months' time, we can move to more than 2,000 cubics of dirt in this specific area, but we still need to move 3,000 more. It can give me an indication how much more we would need to work until we are hitting this design. Similarly, this volume comparison to a previous survey give me an indication how much, for example, my subcontractor has done work here, and if this matches with the quantities and volumes they have in their invoices saying that you need to pay, giving you a bit of a more indication if they are giving you the correct volumes, so on and so on. Knowing how much material on your site is crucial at all times. And for these purposes, we have a measurement called stockpile measurement. And what this does, we can measure how much material, different materials and different volumes we have stored in different locations of the site. Similarly, as to the first measurement I completed, I need to click around the stockpile area, and what this will do, it will triangulate a base level, and anything that is above it is considered the stockpile. And within seconds, we get an understanding how much volume this specific stockpile has here. Volume itself, already a good indication how much material on site, but we can go further and we can add specific material properties to this stockpile, giving, if you have your density and money value, we can convert them directly into tonnages and money values. And these depend, you have full control of these, what you want them to be. Knowing the projects, these stockpiles can be located in various locations. We can have multiple measured at the same time, and we can report them, all these different stockpiles, into a report as an Excel sheet or a PDF. With a click of a button, we can get full understanding, export out the information that we have here in the platform, so you can bring somewhere else, share with the larger team if needed. And this will also calculate the totals. So if there are singular material and multiple stockpiles, you get one single material count for the full site. In addition to these, we can also upload PDF designs, different line work designs that we can then verify visually if work is being done on the correct locations, and do more this visual inspection of the site. For example, if we want to specify that traffic signs, cables, pipes are being put on the correct location, and then we can digitize this information directly from the platform as well. It is important that we are able to bring in the closer together the team working on the site and the team at the office. And for these purposes, we have just recently released a full mobile version of the platform. And here I'm sharing my phone screen into the full screen. We have the same full platform here at our hands, plus we would have our GPS location marked while we would do our site visit. So if we do any marks, annotations, points of interest to the 3D model on the desktop, we can have this information at hand while we go on the site, bringing the digital twin and the reality together more effectively than ever before. We can turn on these designs similarly as on the platform, and we can do similar measurements ad hoc. For example, we would like to figure out the cross section along this area, stationing, for example. We can see how it looks. We get more context while on site, so we can direct our work, make sure that our teams are working on correct place and they are not hitting the designs we want them to hit, and so on, helping us share or get the information to the ground where the work is actually happening. Similarly, here we can also see the change that has happened over time with the click, and we can see how the ground has changed over time, so we can do even more meaningful inspections while on site. In the mobile view, you might have also seen that we have the ability to upload photos directly from the phone, from the app. And these photos are placed to the 3D model itself based on the GPS location from your device. So we can upload more intricate, more finer details and store them on the 3D model, even more qualitative context accompanying the quantitative volumes we can get from the 3D model. And once we have uploaded photos, we can also share tasks directly with them and assign people, make sure that, for example, safety hazards are taken care of on time, and that we can monitor that they're being done. So less need to share information through emails, group chats, or directly, for example, printing and handing out. Really bringing the life together with the site and the people at the office. Back to the platform itself, while Stratus is designed to be as simple as possible and as broadly used as possible, everything you upload to the platform, everything you do here, you can also export. I mentioned earlier the stockpile reportings, different kind of reportings. You can get them out freely. Plus, you can generate maps and different fly-throughs. For example, on the beginning of your site visit, you can show a fly-through of the points that you will be walking through, bringing full context to the people being on the site. In addition to these, we can export full set of files ranging from point clouds, orthophotos, 3D mesh files, and so on. And we can directly push them, for example, to Trimble Connect, so we can use them as a base in the full Trimble ecosystem to get the benefit of these relevant, real, and extremely accurate 3D models, everyone having a look at the same data. While talking about exporting and getting files out, we can also export smaller sections when you create these measurements. For example, this stockpile measurement, we can export directly, so we don't have to get the full site. We can only take small sections for those teams and people who actually need them to work on it, for example, as a base for designing. And that is pretty much what I wanted to show on the platform itself before going too much in depth to the capabilities or the smaller details. But now I'll go back to the slide deck, and there are a couple of interesting features that I'm extremely excited to share with you here today. First one being WMTS links. So if you are not familiar with this, this allows you to create a link directly from our platform to your desired GIS or CAD program, and you can automatically bring in the newest drone survey as a base map or another form that you would like to have, making it even faster sharing the information from our platform to whichever third party is capable of handling WMTS links. As the screen says, this is a paid premium features designed to be more on the enterprise level deals we have. But if you are interested in this, please feel free to reach out to Kristoffer and the SITECH team, and we are more than happy to talk more on this feature. The other feature that we are launching just momentarily is full LiDAR support, meaning that if you have a LiDAR drone, you're flying, for example, with M300 with L1 laser scanner, we can georeference, process, and classify this data for you. Especially useful on vegetated areas or the northern latitudes where sunlight and lighting situations are not necessarily ideal all year long. This allows us to have accurate data basically wherever we are, in whatever situation we are in, really helping, for example, bidding purposes or in general, figuring out where the ground level is on vegetated areas. And like I said, these are both almost here and little sneak peek for the future. And without going too much into detail, that was my part of this presentation. And now I'd like to hand it back to Kristoffer.
Okay, thank you, Samuel. A lot of interesting things, both new in the platform and what's coming around the corner. Fantastic. Samuel, we have a couple of questions. Så bara säga det till alla att har ni några frågor så använd Q&A-knappen och skriv in den frågan. Så tar vi det. But Samuel, I have a question here that I want to translate for you. How many projects and users can you have?
Yeah, got it. So we have unlimited projects, unlimited users currently. So you can basically invite anyone who is part of your team, part of your stakeholder, even subcontractors, or whoever is part of the project. And with this in mind, you can give completely different permissions what they can actually do. For example, you can only give them access to see the data, but not do measurements or see designs. You can, if you have a external drone pilot, you can only give them access to upload the data, and you have full control what you can do. Similarly, unlimited projects. So wherever you fly, even small sections, you can create without any extra cost.
Okay. Then a second question. It is extremely crucial to that subsequent flights align well. I'm trying to do this in the best way. Can we verify the accuracy ourselves?
Yes, that is a very, very good question indeed. And as I mentioned on the PPK part of the beginning of the presentation, is that with our solution, you get to 3 centimeter level of every single point when using the Aero point and PPK. But in every single data set that we process, should it be with RTK, just relying on ground control, or the PPK, we also produce a processing report. And this will tell you how well each point, each ground control point matches with the 3D model and what is the total error we are seeing. And this gives you good indication of the global placement, the internal accuracy and precision you can expect from this dataset. And based on all the data sets I have seen and interacted with, we are very extremely well hitting this this consistency with our PPK solution.
Okay, good. Thank you, Samuel. Så jag har ingen mer fråga just nu, så jag vill då passa på att tacka alla för att vi har fått visa lite grann hur man kan jobba i ett vägprojekt. Efter webbinariet så kommer det gå ut ett mejl med en inspelning och länkar och kontaktinformation. Så jag får önska alla en fortsatt trevlig dag. Jag hoppas att vi ser er i något framtida webbinarie. Ha det bra allihop. Hej då!